reptilian archetype, the main thing to notice about it is the scales. Scaly, thick, scaly skin, in some cases made of polished silver or brass. This interprets in our archaic subconscious as being, unaffectable. You can't really affect them from the outside using ordinary means. Now, precision, yes, you can strike between the scales and pierce through to the tender flesh beneath, but that takes skill honed through ages and ages of constant, excruciating trial and error. They breathe fire. Their tongue is a two-edged sword, split tongue. In other words, they use words as a weapon, and they are two-faced. Or not two-faced, two-tongued liars. But whether they speak good or whether they speak evil, it is as a weapon that they use their tongue and their mouth. Greed. Hoarding. The Reptilian archetype, the dragon's always in his lair, sitting on top of a pile of gold. Doesn't venture far from his lair. That people, in some cases, bring to the dragon sacrifices to keep him in his lair. I can think of a few reptilians today that resemble that mark. But not all reptilians are equal. The Leviathan does not have scales. He was not an atypical dragon or reptilian. He lived under the ocean in the deepest, unreachable fathoms of the ocean. And quite frankly, approaching the Leviathan was a death wish. The Leviathan's preferred method for hunting was to breathe fire under the water, causing the sea to boil and turning anything within a half-mile radius of himself into, soup. He would then swim through that said soup with his mouth open, and the rest was digestion. The Leviathan is the epitome of, primal badass. Like, there is not much that can, there is nothing that can shake Leviathan in his own territory. Nothing but time. And eventually the Leviathan, became a watcher, I think. But there are still Leviathan archetypal personalities that, aspire to be a Leviathan. The original Leviathan may have been Hermes. He is unaffected merely due to the fact that he lives in the water. So he's pretty much unapproachable by our means. If he's not approaching you, you're not gonna approach him. You're not gonna find him. And if he's approaching you, piercing his skin is the last thing you need to worry about. Leviathan is the authority of all things that live in water. Is the more primal animus. Generally speaking, though, the Leviathan is thought to have become the Hydra, or evolved to the Hydra as one of his hybridized children that can walk on land. The Leviathan himself cannot walk on land. Water represents time, whereas land represents space. And air or the heavens represents the aether, the unseen world. It inhabits both time and space simultaneously. So there's the key to striking down Leviathan right there, is become a master of time, i.e. Leviathan, or become a master of the heavens, learn to manipulate space and time without stepping into either. There's like a little stepping stone there. So another one is the Hydra, of course. This one is a tricky one, a tricky archetype. The Hydra is one that you never see its true face. You know, and you can't just kill it. You then must kill its memory. Charles Manson was a Hydra. I'll just leave it at that. Jesus Christ, Hydra. Classic example. Fucking me. Like, Hydras are the algorithm. Like, Hydra is a hyper-sentient motherfucking reptilian. I mean, they're all hyper-sentient in a sense, but being archetypes, but like, this is up there. You got Leviathans, you got fucking Satans, and you got Hydras. Like, you got
stereotypical and really only known account of a feathered serpent would be Quetzalcoatl. He was a Mayan god, and I think fits rightly belongs to the reptilian archetype. I mean, anything that's made its place to God mode and remained there throughout history, that's an archetype, guaranteed. Now, whether Quetzalcoatl was a Hydra or not, I don't know. Could have been a hybridization of the Phoenix and any of the other reptilians. Phoenix would be a super empath that it goes postal. It's like a war empath. It's a not dark empath. That would be Quetzalcoatl. It's a dark empath. A Phoenix is one that is on fire for a cause, and to that point where that cause consumes him, and he is able to take on all the fucking burning and destruction that comes along with fighting for that cause, and he's able to bear that burden empathically just because that's how much strongly he believes in the cause. Like Joan the Arc, Phoenix. But feathered serpent is a dark empath. Someone that perhaps they were on fire for a cause and eventually felt betrayed by that cause after giving their life for that cause and finding out that, well, the people I was fighting for, they just take me for granted, or they weren't worth fighting for, type thing. And so he becomes callous, and he's already used to feeling other people's pain, so he just learns to enjoy it. Enjoys feeling pain he inflicts on others empathically. That's a dark empath. And that's the Quetzalcoatl.
So yeah, if you cut off a Hydra's head, and if they get done, you take the heat off. You just can't take the heat off that just because it's dead. You gotta keep on persecuting it after it's dead. And anything that's willing to lose its head for a cause has that potential. So hydras may or may not have scales. They don't have to have scales. But hydras can have feathers. One thing that is certain of a hydra is that they live on. And their rest is at the cost of tireless persecution. And remember to look for the other 8 heads. Like, keep persecuting the one, but watch for the other 8 staying behind you. Cat of 9 tails. See, the reptilian archetype with using the Hydra has, like I said, is merged in beyond scales. Cat of 9 tails, similar concept. The spirit fox with 9 tails, or let's see some other cultural things. Phoenix. Phoenix is a different archetype, but it's sisters with Hydra, and it's like this Phoenix never grows scales. It's always had feathers. Has always been effectual, very effectual, very easy to be persuaded to a cause to its own detriment, but its own detriment is the one which we wanted. Still beating the same drum, So it's like the opposite end of the spectrum. I relate to the Phoenix a lot. I got the Phoenix on my shoulder. It's meant to be a thunder instead of a Phoenix now. After the fact, because the tattoo artist did a terrible job of it, because I relate to the Phoenix. But I am a reptilian. I was once a Phoenix. Still a Phoenix. Still a reptilian. Just mentions it thyself. I'm the Beastmaster, I guess. I got beast all over me, man. I'm a beast. Ain't a mountain goat, but I'm a beast. Bye.